welcome to the first Spartan Sports Central episode of 2017-18. We have an exciting episode for you. We are preparing for the third game of the season, Friday versus Navasota. You'll meet Stafford Volleyball coach Ivana as the Lady Spartans have their best start in more than a decade. We'll catch up with Stafford graduate Angel Maldonado, who's now the head cross-country coach. Our player profile this week is Spartan senior linebacker Noah Nelson. Welcome back to the show, Coach Savannah.
Morning.
All right, well, congratulations. That was the first win of your career. And then it's fitting that it was a defensive game with you being having a defensive background.
Well, it wasn't like we planned it as a defensive game. We were hoping that we got more points, but right now we'll take them any way we get them.
Okay, and one of the things I noticed by watching the game was you guys really limited Belleville's running game after they had a big week at Bay City the previous week. Talk about how you were able to do that.
Well, we knew at the beginning of the year that one of our strong points to start out the year was going to be the defensive guys, and they kind of shouldered that responsibility of trying to get the team started in the right direction. So we had a good week of preparation, and they were went out with a determined attitude that they were going to be successful this week. And it was both groups. So defensively, we just wanted to make certain that we gave the offense an opportunity this time.
Okay, and then Noah Nelson, who will feature later in this broadcast, he recovered a fumble, had a great game. He was fired up the whole time. Just talk about his leadership out there on the field.
Well, Noah's big for us. He's one of the returning starters. He started 14 ball games last year. So having him back is having that experience on the field, and he understands the level of play that you have to be at to be successful in Texas. He's doing a lot for us in the leadership role, and as everybody can see on the field, he's really into it. He plays on emotion, and he does a real good job. He gets after it. A lot of people think he's he's a little undersized, but a lot of people think he's a really good player.
Okay, and then speaking of leadership on the other side of the ball, Walter White has scored a touchdown in 16 consecutive games. We'll talk about his consistency in the pocket.
Well, Walter's another competitor, and that's probably one of the reasons he's our quarterback, is that he wants to compete, and you can't tell him he can't do something because he's going to try to show you that he can. And he has a real good knowledge of football, and that's what people kind of miss with him, is that he has a really good knowledge of football, and he is doing what he needs to do right now to lead a young offense.
With the offense being young and so many new parts and everything, what is it going to take to kind of get the consistency that we had last year?
Well, we started the year, we're going to hang our hat on a couple things. We're going to come off the ball and be physical. We're going to run the ball. And, with Walter back there, he's one of the leading returning passers in the state. We're going to throw the ball around a little bit, but it's going to be out of some things that are a little bit different from last year because we don't have the Hezekiah Jones and those guys on the field. We have some younger kids, good athletes, but they don't have the experience that those guys had it last year.
So you had two guys that against Calhoun and then this week against Belleville had their first career touchdown reception. Just talk about how big that is for those two guys.
Well, it's a big deal. That was one of the reasons that, coming back after Harvey, some people opted to do another scrimmage. We wanted to play because it was really important that those young guys get to see Friday night on the field Friday night. You can tell them about it, you can talk about it, but until you're there and have gone through it, then you don't understand it. So it was big for those guys, and I was happy to see them, the two guys get touchdown catches and get catches and contribute because they're going to have to contribute down the road a lot more.
Okay. So Navasota this week, last couple of weeks, you've seen run-oriented teams in Calhoun and then Belleville, but Navasota really passes the ball around, and I know you guys.
Yeah, they throw the ball around the park a lot. But they line up in a lot of passing formation stuff. But they're about 50%. They're about 50% run, 50% pass. They may be maybe 55% pass and 45% run.
And they had a big win last week against Waller. So what are the challenges that they present to you?
Well, we've got to be ready for as you know, their passing game. We've got to be on point with that. Defensively, again, it's the same deal. We've got to come out and give the offense opportunities. The more times we can keep their offense off the field, the better it is for our kids, our offense, because they get a chance to, drive the ball down the field, make plays. So that's our job as a defense, to give them the ball back.
Now, this is the last tune-up before district play. The district went 7-0 this past weekend. Yeah. So talk about, how much this district has improved.
Well, I've said that all along. I talked to some people this summer, and we were talking about the district. We're probably in one of the toughest 4A districts in Southeast Texas. And
if not the state.
Yeah, well, we battle with that group up in Cartridge Gym District, up in East Texas. Mm-hmm. But we're one of the tougher districts, and everybody's improved. Everyone's improved. From Brazosport, who has a new coach, who's the North Forest coach last year. Sure. They've improved. We knew Bay City was going to be pretty good. They've improved a lot. Needville has improved, and El Campo is going to be El Campo. Yeah. They're going to be consistent, and they're going to do the things that they need to do to win. Okay. So this is going to be probably one of the tougher districts races that we've been in since we've been with this group of teams.
Okay, and then of course after this game you start district at Bay City on the following Friday. Right. So we wish you well in the rest of the season, and we appreciate you being on the show. Thanks, Coach.
You. All right.
Yeah. Next up is the player profile, Noah Nelson.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to savethefood.com.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
Welcome back to Spartan Sports Central. Noah Nelson was a defensive leader on a Spartans team that made history last season. He's already off to a fast start this year, and in fact, he's been named a Blue-Gray Game All-American. Hope you enjoy the package.
The Stafford Spartans are preparing for a run at the state championship. Linebacker Noah Nelson gives us his read on the season ahead.
Definitely Stafford versus El Campo and Stafford versus Bay City. Those are going to be the 2 best games of the season. They're the teams that we're projected to have the most difficulty with, but after last season, I feel like we have a hunch on our shoulder after playing El Campo and losing, because it was a terrible loss. but I feel like this year we can come back and really give it to them. Challenges this year that we'll face are being a team. We have to be able to communicate with each other better and talk more on the field than what we do now. Definitely our defense is one of the stronger parts of this team, but also we have the coaches that they play a really big part in our success, and it just helps us a lot knowing that they're there.
Nelson is preparing himself to take on a stronger role as team leader.
Last year was really a learning experience for me because it was my first year playing varsity, and I felt like I came into it really slow, but over the course of the season, I felt like I was able to keep up with the speed and help my team move on and progress throughout the playoffs. At first, I questioned myself if I could be a leader to them, but then the more I talked to them and the more that we did stuff together, I realized that they actually do listen to me and I can be an influence to them.
Coach Nathaniel Joseph is confident Nelson is ready.
He got some good experience playing linebacker last year, and I'm expecting him to do a real good job this year, especially knowing where to go, knowing his assignments, and also being one of the leaders on the team. One of the things that we had to develop with him is to get him to know the plays, know the defensive system, know the defensive strategy. And that's why I'm excited to see how well he does this year, knowing that he has the experience in all three areas, and see how he carries those out. I think he'd do very well. Tackles, but it's about being in the right places at the right time. And towards the end of the season, just like he said, during the playoffs, he showed that ability where he could feel the different assignments that he was supposed to be in, and also carry out his assignments. The guys that he plays with, he tries to talk to them, get them together, and overall, he's really trying to do his best on the field.
Nelson has been inspired by a family tradition of success.
My brother played for St. Pius. He went to St. Pius. He won state in '08. And it's just been like ever since I was a little kid, watching him win state, I always wanted to like win state for him, basically, because he didn't get a chance to go to the NFL, which that's what he really wanted. And now he looks at me and he thinks I can make it. And from him believing in me, I feel like I can make it too. And he just tells me to try my best, do everything I can, always get better, and take no days off. If I'm able to play college ball, I would love to go and play for Baylor. But if not, my mind is really set on Mary Hardin Baylor and going and majoring in computer science and minoring in physics. My uncle, he's an engineer for the oil and gas company, and we talk about it a lot. And he just got me really interested in it, and I feel like it gives me enough money to help raise a family, but it's also something that I would love to do. And that's really important to me, doing something that I love.
For Spartan Sports Central, I'm Stacy Hawkins.
Wow, what a great story. Good luck this season, Noah. Next up, we're going to talk to the new Stafford High volleyball coach.
I'm only 17, but I know about investing. Believe in something, buy shares in it, watch it grow. So, what if you could invest in the future? The future of kids, like a stock. Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change. A whole new kind of investment called Better Futures. When you invest, it helps kids go to college. I could be one of the first college graduates from my family, the first philanthropist from my neighborhood. And if I'm the first, then maybe there's a second and a third. Believe in us, invest in us, watch us grow. My name is Sydney, and I'm your dividend.
Why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Having trouble finding Connor's middle school? Would you like directions?
No, why is Connor having trouble focusing in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with him over homework.
home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, I need help. He's very smart, but his mind wanders. He's disorganized.
I think I understand.
Oh, good.
French fries. Finding best potatoes.
No!
Russet. Fingerling. Yukon Gold.
Why don't you understand me?
Sorry, I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
For the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues, this is what life can feel like. Explore understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues, designed to help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.
Welcome back to the show. Ivana Ellis was promoted from JV to varsity volleyball coach just before the season started. The Lady Spartans have been impressive, regularly defeating 6A and 5A schools. Welcome to your Spartan Sports Central debut, Coach. Good to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, so you became a coach just before the season started, the head coach just before the season started. What was that like?
I was excited. I kind of knew that maybe I would be in that position, so I guess I was ready for whatever came my way, but more so was worried about the support of the girls and just making sure that they had someone there that they were comfortable with going into the season, because it's always hard for athletes to transition, you know, when they lose a coach they've had for the past 3 years and then have someone else come in, and you know, sometimes when you have a new person, new things change, but with me coming in, I knew that would kind of keep some of the same routines and some of the same ethics that we already had going with the team.
Now, you started district on Tuesday. How do you see the district playing out?
It's going to be competitive. Our preseason, we played 6A, 5A schools, very competitive 6A, 5A schools, and I think that has prepared us very well for district. I don't think it's nothing that we can't handle. We definitely should win some games in there.
Now the team is 12-9 at this point, and I know you had quite a bit of time off, as everyone did, for the Hurricane Harvey situation. How did that break affect the team, in your opinion?
I think it kind of broke the team because not just with our district, but many districts around the area, you know, you lose that practice time and the playing time. So it was a matter of trying to, how can we fit in games, just so we know that we still need work or what exactly we need to work on. During the Harvey break, you know, I got plenty of calls and plenty of texts for the girls. They were eager to get back into the gym and get back to, you know, work and practice. And it was just a matter of getting that clearance to say, hey, you know, the gym is open, you can come and practice.
Okay, and then you had success at the tournament, which was right after we came back to school. You took 3 out of 4 matches in the Stafford tournament. Talk about that.
Yes, I'm really happy that we were still able to hold some type of tournament. I know a lot of the coaches were grateful because with so many districts being out, it was hard trying to find games. So it was just good overall being able to play the teams we've played to get us back prepared for district, because that was my biggest worry, is going into district kind of blind and not really knowing if they are prepared or how they would handle coming back from such a long break. Can they match up, you know, and pull it out and being able to succeed?
What would you say some of this team's strengths are?
I would say the fact that they've played, I have 4 seniors. They've been playing all 4 years. Some of them have been playing 3+ years on varsity, so they bring that seniority, but also the experience to it. And then I have a lot of younger athletic girls who are quick to learn, eager to learn new things and to adjust to those senior players.
Okay, so in district, you're starting off 3 out of the first 4 on the road. How difficult do you see it as far as like making the playoffs? I know last year we missed it by 1 game, but this year, as far as, you know, crossing that hurdle and then getting into the playoffs.
To me, winning the away games is more important than the home games, only because, you know, when you get into playoffs, you don't get to play at home. You're going to be playing in a totally different gym and a totally different atmosphere. So when you win those home games as a coach, you know that, you know, they can succeed away from being in their home gym, you know, with their home fans. So it's very important that as we continue on, that we're winning those away games.
Okay, you talked about playing at home. How supportive have the fans and everyone been as far as, at the home games?
They've been very supportive. The stands, for the most part, have been filled. I like it better when we have football games because, our games start before the football. So we have fans there, and then, they'll transition over to the football field. So that gives double the excitement. I know the girls really feed off the crowd energy, and that's what you want at any home game is that crowd energy to feed into your athletes. And, they strive to do a little bit better. They understand that they have something to protect when they're at home.
All right, thanks for being on the show, Coach. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
All right, next up is an interview with Angel Maldonado, the new Stafford High cross-country coach.
Guess what? I have some news for you. There's free food right there, junk food. Do you see that truck? Oh, jeez. It's a 2 Michelin star chef. All for free, ladies and gentlemen. All for free.
Here we have a panzanella with summer vegetables and pesto. Enjoy. How we doing?
Fantastic. So what do you got going on underneath that plate there?
This food is really about to be thrown away.
Yeah.
Is there something wrong with this food? Where did you get it from?
From farmers markets. They put aside the ugly vegetables and the ugly fruits.
Carrot top, soft avocados. It was all food that was going to be discarded.
Even the drink you had is made from like a little bruised peach. Did it taste a little bruised?
Great. It was good.
The average person throws away 24 pounds of food a month.
That's a lot.
Isn't that a lot? Go visit savethefood.com for more information. Thank you. Junk food time!
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes? B, console her?
Don't worry, sweetie. This is gonna happen a lot.
Or C, find her a new boyfriend?
Nice, single boys. That was weird.
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can stop to make sure someone is okay.
We can warn someone when their drink isn't safe.
And disrupt the situation. We can.
Get someone a cab.
Or walk them home safely. We can make campuses safer for our friends.
Our roommates.
Our classmates. Our fellow human beings.
We cannot be bystanders.
We can. Intervene.
It's on us. All of us.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
Welcome back to the program. Angel Maldonado is no stranger to this show. A 2008 Stafford High graduate, he became the Lady Spartans soccer coach last season and led the team to the playoffs in his first season. 2017 marks his first season as head coach of the cross-country team after 4 years as an assistant. So now we've had 3 head coaches who will be making their head coaching debuts this fall. Welcome back to the show, Coach.
Thank you, Michael.
All right, so you guys were supposed to start, I remember, because I was going to come out and be there for it on August 25th at LaPorte, but the season got delayed by almost a month. Talk about the challenges that presented.
The challenges, definitely a challenge trying to get kids out. In the beginning, of course, we got summer workouts and stuff like that, but once we started rolling with practices, we started that first week, and then all of a sudden Harvey came around, and it just kind of like made a delayed us a little bit. So when we got back from after a week and a half, we started going at it. So I had to literally adjust the workout plan that we had and kind of go into more moderate workouts. So we're trying to build our base and at the same time get faster. Our goal at this point is to get to district and run our best at district. The meets that we're going to, this week we're going to Sweeney, and then the following week to the Cougar Classic. So those meets particularly, I'm just trying to evaluate runners and hopefully get the best runners by district so we can have the best opportunity to make it out of district.
All right, now you guys started the season at Brazosport on Saturday, and you got to run on the beach. That must have been a good experience for the kids.
Definitely. It's always a great meet by running at Brazosport, and again, it's a 3-mile shot, 1.5 miles on the shore, and 1.5 miles coming back. And so definitely the goal for this meet, because again, Harvey delayed us a little bit in terms of our workout plan, was the goal to complete, and all the runners complete the course, and every single one of them did, and so I'm happy with that, proud of that. I did have some surprises with some of these runners, especially on the JV. One of the girls ran, she got top 7. Well, out of the top 10, she was number 7. On the varsity girls side, out of 40-something girls, 4 of the girls were top 20. So it was very good to see. I know we came in 4th in the varsity girls. Third place was 92, and we were 95. So I actually was proud of that. And then the varsity boys, we definitely got there and running a little late, but they managed to put a good show. But again, we just, rolling, and hopefully by district we run our best.
Well, you talked about Sweeney. That was one of the meets that was delayed by Hurricane Harvey. What's that meet going to be like going down to Sweeney?
Definitely, we've run there before about when I first started coaching, and it was a really fun meet. It was in a grass farm, and definitely it's a type of course that it's primarily grass, and then there's some slopes, but the challenge would probably be the slopes. But again, we have hill workouts that we tend to do on Wednesdays, so I think we will be fine to run that.
Okay, and you mentioned the Cougar Invitational. Where is that?
This is in Sugar Land. By
Kepner Cougars?
Kepner Cougars.
Okay.
So it's going to take place in Sugar Land off of 90, and it's always, we tend to go every year, and it's definitely one of those competitions where you see a lot of the Sugar Land schools in the area, and so hopefully we can manage to compete with them.
Okay, so now you're a head coach of a second varsity sport, only less than 10 years out of high school. You got your 10-year reunion coming up. You'll have a lot to talk about there. But what's it like, being a head coach of 2 sports?
It's definitely been, again, having a second sport to be in charge of. It's definitely has its challenges. Again, the whole Harvey thing and just getting kids out primarily over the summer has been the challenging part. And then, of course, just managing the meets and getting the schedule going. And so, but thankfully I got a good support system, and the previous coach Hinojosa, has helped me out in terms of transitioning into the head coach position. So he's been my help and my support, as well as Coach Savannah. They've been giving me a lot of support, so I appreciate that, and that's facilitated my work.
Well, you're off to a great start. Thank you again, Coach Maldonado. And good luck to all of our teams. We'll see you again in 2 weeks.
This program was produced on the Stafford campus of Houston Community College.
Calls me googly eyes.
You know you're beautiful, right? You know that?
Even you are beautiful. I got bullied for wearing glasses. Share if you're against bullying.
We put it out there, just took off. 3 million people have shared this post. Don't let bullies get you down. I stand with you. Our whole family's wearing glasses. I wear glasses and I'm proud.
I even have the army on my team.
All the kind comments brought my child joy. I don't feel thank you is enough.
That's
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
Why do you not get me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.